What is up everybody, welcome back to another tutorial. So in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to create this weather application in React.js. In this tutorial you will learn about Axios, you will learn about APIs, how to use Open Weather API in your application. So let's get started. First of all I'm going to open the git bash and here I'm going to check for the node package. Make sure you have installed that node package in your computer. Now I'm going to create the React application. All right, so our project has been created. Now let's get into the project folder. I'm going to change the directory and inside project folder, let's open VS Code. Let me open the terminal inside VS Code. You can use terminal inside VS Code. So let's go to package.json. You can see we have only React packages installed. So let's install the Axios and Bootstrap. So this command will install the Bootstrap and Axios package. Now you can see we have a Bootstrap and we have Axios. All right. After that, I'm going to start this project. And you can see our project is running perfectly. So let's get back to VS Code and let's go to source index file. In index file, we have a React DOM function, which is getting all the template from the app.js. So we have a default template here. Let's first import the Bootstrap. So I'm going to import Bootstrap inside index.js. And after that, I'm going to go to app.js and remove everything from here. So now let's import React and we're going to use state and use effect. Let's import the Axios and let's import app.css. So we have import everything. Let me go app.css and remove everything from here as well. So after that, let's create const app and it's going to be arrow function. Inside app function, we're going to need some states. So let's create city, set city, and that's going to be state, and the default state will be London. Now let's create other states as well. We will store our weather data in this state. So it's going to be by default none. For that we need unit, and here we will store our Fahrenheit and Celsius. After that we're going to need error. So let's create a state for the error and background image. We're going to show our background image dynamically, so for that we need this state. Alright, so we have created all the states. Let's make this metric by default. And after that, we're going to need another constant, and that will be for API key. Here we will be putting our API key. So let's get the API key from the website. We will be using this API. I have already created my account. You can create your own account and get the API keys. I'm going to copy that and I'm going to paste that here. After that, I'm going to create the use effect function. So with this function, we're going to give some values, and that will be city and units. Now, after that, inside this function, we're going to create a constant, and that will be fetch weather data. And that will be assigned to asynchronous function. So let me remove everything and let me make this arrow function. All right, let's add try and catch. Inside try, we're going to need constant, and that's going to be response. And that will be assigned to await dot get. And inside here, we're going to put the API URL. So you can see I have already created that URL, and I have assigned the city, and I have assigned the API key and also units. After that, let's get the response from this API URL. So we're gonna set that response to this function set weather data. Now let's create the update background image. In the meantime, we will be changing background image as well. So according to the weather or according to the temperature, we're gonna change the background image as well. Let's set the error, and if we find any kind of a error, it's gonna set the error message to this state. Let's set the weather data to null. Perfect. Now after that, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna call this function inside use effect. All right, so we are done here. Now let's create another function, and that will be outside use effect, and that function we will be using for the updating background image. And we're gonna pass condition. Inside that, I'm gonna use switch statement. Inside switch statement, let's pass the condition. Let's make the condition to lowercase. Now let's pass the value. So that's going to be a condition. So if the condition is rain, it's gonna set the background image to a specific URL. So inside URL, we will be putting our image address. So I'm gonna fast forward this section because it's gonna take more time writing the same thing. So you can see we have a set background image and we have passed the unsplash images. According to different condition, I have put different images. And if we don't have any kind of condition, it's gonna show this default image. After that, let's create another function, and that will be handle search. So it's gonna handle the search input, and we're gonna pass the event. So whenever we input the city name, it's gonna call this function. After that, let's create constant city input, and let's assign that. So it's gonna take the value and that will assign to the city input. Now let's add if condition. So if we have a city input, it's gonna set the input to the set city, which is here. You can see we have that state. After that, let's create event target, and we will be assigning this to the empty string. So if we don't have any kind of an input, it's gonna assign that to the empty string. All right, so we have created every functions. Now let's return the HTML part. So we're gonna return div. Let's give it a class, and that will be container. After that, we need some style to show our background image dynamically. So we're gonna assign background image to background image state. All right. Now after that, let's create another div. We will be adding the style into these classes later, but first of all, let's create HTML. I'm gonna create a form here. On submit, we have passed the handle search function which we created here. You can see that. Now after that, let's create another elements. This will be our input. Let's give it a placeholder. Let's add class. That let's create icon. That will be magnifying glass. Now let's create another div, and here we will be showing our weather units. So we're gonna need a span, one click function, and we're gonna pass the arrow function, and that will be handle unit change. We haven't created this function yet, but we will create this later. This one will be imperial. And let's add the C for Celsius and F for Fahrenheit. After that, we need to show the error message. So I'm going to show that here. And if we don't get any kind of a data, it's going to show this error. Now let's fetch the weather data. So I'm going to fast forward this section just to make this video shorter. So we have created weather body, and inside that we're gonna show the city name. After that, we're gonna show the date time. For that, we will be using date function. After that, let's create forecast. And here we will be showing our forecast from the weather description. We have missed something here, and that is to export the app. So I'm gonna do that, and now let's create weather icon. Fix this div here. So we have created the upper section. Now let's create the lower section. Here we will be showing our temperature. Let's create the minimum temperature and let's copy that and paste here. So we have a minimum and maximum temperature. Alright, now we have a problem with the await.get function. So let's fix that. Here we didn't put the axios. Now that's good. We still have some error, but we will fix this later. Let's first complete our HTML. Here I will create some cards. Inside that cards, we're gonna fetch some data. Alright, so we have created 4 cards here. Now we have to create this function. So let's create that. I'm gonna create that function here. Let's pass the units. Right. Now we are good to go. Let's see our code. It's looking fine. Let's check. Oh, so we have still one error, and that's a date. Let's find that. It's not a data, it's a date. Now save it and let's check again. You can see everything is working fine. Now we need to create the CSS styling for this. So let's do that. And I'm gonna fast forward this section because I don't want to make this video more longer. Alright, so our CSS has been done. Now let's check for this icon. And we don't have icon here because we didn't put the source. So let's do that. Now we have to put the source here. You can see I have created this URL. Now we have the icon. Perfect. Now let's fix these cards. So let's change the icon here. It's a gauge high, and this one will be went. Now let me minimize these tags so I can see where is the problem. So the problem is actually with these classes. It's not correct. So let me correct that. Now let's check again. And we have cars. Alright, so we need to fix this as well. Let's go and we remove this 3 and add hash. Now we have a centigrades and Fahrenheits. Perfect. Now let's fix one more thing, this real field. So let's do that and add icon there. Let's check again and we have a degree there. Let's see the functionality of this project. You can see we have a Dubai temperature and let's change the city name. I'm gonna type Moscow and you can see we have a different background with different centigrade and you can see for the Rio. So I hope you will like this tutorial. If you like, please make sure to subscribe our channel and press the bell icon so you won't miss any upcoming videos. I will see you in the next one.